Good day, everyone. We are the Group 3, and today we're going to talk about organizing in engineering management.
Introduction to organizing. Once the general and specific objectives determined to achieve them a plan is prescribed, the next step is to organize the activities of the enterprise with a view to work the plan and to fulfill the organizational objectives. What is organizing? The word organization is given a variety of interpretations, but we can stress here on two terms, namely A. Organization is understood as a dynamic process and a managerial activity. Secondly, it can be used in the sense which refers to the structure of relationship among position jobs. Features. Here are some common features, though we will not dig deeper right now because one of the reporters will do it later. First, division of labor. Second, coordination. Third, accomplishments of goals and objectives. And lastly, authority responsibility structure. Organization structure is a structure of positions arranged in hierarchy for the pursuit of common objectives through specialization and division of work.
So, meaning and definitions of organizing. So, we're gonna tackle all about organizing in management. So, organizing refers to a process of a managerial function which coordinates and allocates a firm's resources in order to carry out its plans. So, the organizing has a four following steps, which are the first one, identification and grouping of the work. The second one is defining the responsibility, and the third one, delegation of appropriate authority, and the last one is establishment of structural relationships. So the term organization may be dealt in two contexts, which are to a particular company or a group of persons working together to fulfill certain objectives or goals. It is referred in the name of the organizations such as Royal Industries, Tata Consultancy Services, and etc. The second one is to the organization as a structure or a network of specific relationships among individuals. So this organization is a function of management leads to the first one is creation of organizational structure with suitable personnel. The second one is designing specific roles to eliminate ambiguity. The third one, defining interrelationship among personnel for productive cooperation. And the last one is clarifying authority and responsibility for results and logical grouping of activities.
Concepts of organizing. There are concepts that we need to know in order for us to understand how organizing should work. Concept number 1 is organizing as a process. It is considered as a process because it is not a function that can be performed at a single stroke, but rather it is a chain of various functions. Organizing as a process is a dynamic concept, as the activities can be arranged and changed according to the requirements of an organization. And as a process, it consists of two processes: differentiation, which means division of work into smaller units and its assignment to individuals according to their skills and abilities, and integrations, which refers to the coordination of different activities towards a common goal. Thus, it provides unity of action towards organizational activities. Concept number 2, organizing as a structure of relationship. According to this concept, organizing is treated as a structure of relationship because it shows the authority and responsibility relationship among the members. It identifies who is to command and who is to obey, and the relationship among them will be defined in a way that maximizes organizational welfare and individual goals, which is actually a good thing in the organization.
Nature of organizing. Division of labor. According to Payol, work of all kinds must be subdivided and assigned to a number of persons. Coordination. Different persons are assigned for different functions, and yet all these functions have only one aim: the accomplishment of the enterprise objectives. Objectives. Any organization structure is bounded together by the pursuit of specific and well-defined objectives. Fifth is cooperative relationship. An organization ensures cooperative relationship among the members of the group. Well-defined hierarchy. Hierarchy acts as a line of communication as well as command and shows the pattern of relationships among people. Last is communication. Although every organization has its own channels and methods of communication, for success in management, effective communication is vital.
These are the 8 features of organizing. Number 1. Division of work. In workplace, every workers must individually or group themselves to perform their job where their specialization developed. Number 2. Achieving organizational objectives. By this, it helps us to give purpose of what we're doing. Number 3. Authority, responsibility, structure. People always have responsibility to do so. It is a thing that one is required to do as part of the job, rule, or legal obligation. Number 4. Grouping activities. This features was the outcome of the first feature, where workers tend to develop their skills and specialization at the workplace, thus gaining efficiency and coordination. Number 5. Step-by-step principle. Organizing is a step-by-step process which consists of steps. Each step is an important task to be performed by the administrators working at the top level of management. Number 6. Installing sound communication system. By this, it helps communicate to his or her worker in order for them to work well and be guided from the process of work. Number 7. Flexibility. It ensures the ability to adapt and adjust the activities in response to change taking place in the external environment. Number 8. Coordination. It creates good relationship among employees and ensures mutual cooperation among individuals. So these are the 8 features of organizing.
The 4 basic elements of organizing. The first element is the division of work. Once the work is divided, the tasks are distributed to the different functional areas of the organization as production, marketing, finance, and personnel. Next is the grouping of activities. The tasks are grouped into different departments on the basis of similarity of their features, and this is called the departmentation. There are common forms of departmentation. First is the functional departmentation. Activities can be grouped according to function to pursue economies of scale by placing employees with shared skills and knowledge accounting, manufacturing, logistics, and engineering. Second is the product departmentation. All activities related to the product or the service are placed under one manager. Third is the customer departmentation. Jobs are grouped according to the type of customers served by the organization, assuming that the customer in each department has a common set of problems and needs that can best be met by specialists. Fourth is the geographic departmentation. If the customer is geographically dispersed, jobs can be grouped on the basis of geographical locations. Lastly, the process departmentation. Process departmentalization allows homogeneous activities to be categorized in one department because each process requires different skills. And the third element of the organization is the distribution of authority. Once the departments are created, members are given authority to perform the tasks assigned. Authority specifies the discretion of the employee over his work. Last element is the coordination. Coordination is the act of organizing, making different people or things work together for a goal or effort to fulfill desired goals in the organization.
Steps of organizing. There are 5 steps of organizing. Step 1. Determination of objectives. Any business is established or started by entrepreneurs to achieve some objectives. These objectives must be clearly stated so as to understand the very purpose and existence of the business. Step 2. Numeration of activities. The work of an industrial concern is divided into essential activities. Step 3. Classification of activities. The next step is to classify activities according to the similarities and common purposes and function by taking the available human and material resources into account. Step 4. Fitting individuals into function. Once the departmentalization and formation of section is over, each section should be allocated to a subordinate and each department should be allocated to one executive. This step consists of appointment of workers and defining the responsibility of each of one of them. Step 5. Assignment of authority for action. Now, suitable persons are fitted in their respective jobs and made responsible to accomplish the job. He can only proceed to do the work when he is given adequate authority to proceed to do the work. The delegation authority to take step is to complete the assigned part of the job is the next step in organization.
Principles of organizing. The organizing process can be done efficiently if the managers have certain guidelines so that they can take decisions. To organize in an effective manner, the following principles of organization can be used. The principle of consideration of unity of objectives. The objective of the undertaking influences the organization structure. The principle of specialization. The principle of coordination. The principle of scalar chain, also known as the chain of command. Principle of commensurate authority and responsibility. This means when an individual is responsible for a certain task. The principle of ultimate responsibility. Responsibility to perform a task is given to a subordinate by the supervisor. Principle of efficiency. It means to attain objective with the lowest possible cost. Principle of delegation is the process by establishing relationships between them. Principle of unity of command means that instructions to a subordinate must come from one person only. Principle of span of control, the maximum number of employees that can be supervised by a person. Principle of balance. Principle of communication. Principle of personal ability. So now, Alex will be going to discuss the another 13 principles. Thank you.
Principle of exception. Under the exception principle, recurring decisions should be handled in a routine manner by the lower level manager, whereas problems involving unusual matters should be referred to the higher level. Principle of flexibility. The structure of an organization must be flexible so that adjustments necessitated by changed circumstances may be planned and incorporated in it. Principle of departmentation. It enables the division of activities into specialized groups to attain organizational objectives. Principle of division of work. Specialization in organizational functions is necessary for the most effective attainment of objectives. Principle of definiteness. Each activity must contribute to the primary or basic goal of an enterprise with minimum of effort and maximum efficiency of the part of the employee. Principle of discipline. Discipline is vitally important in all types of organizations. Principle of simplicity. Principle of separation of line and staff function. Line functions should be separated from the staff functions. Principle of continuity of operations. Principle of leadership. Organization structure should create a favorable environment or situation in which the manager can most effectively lead and motivate his subordinates. Principle of definition. Principle of work assignment. Principle of employee participation. Employees should be encouraged to participate as much as possible in the decision-making process.
Trends in organizing. First, chain of command. This concept exhibits flow of authority. It is a system where authority flows down from the top through a series of executive positions in which each functional manager is accountable to the immediate superior. Unity of command. This concept focuses on one command to one issue and not multi-command. Person in charge of function receives command from the top and has to follow it implicitly. Third, span of control. The term span of management is also referred to as span of control, span of supervision, and span of authority or span of responsibility. It indicates the number of persons that a manager can manage effectively. Fourth, delegation and empowerment. Delegation is a process of giving power or assigning tasks to someone or to the immediate lower authority so that persons who receive the authority are responsible for part of what they normally do. Empowerment instills a sense of power in performer as he or she gets decision-making authority. Fifth, decentralization. Decentralization means a transfer of authority and responsibility for smooth functioning of organizational activities. It may be applied to any type of organization, including the government. Sixth, organizational design and configuration. To design various types of structures, certain influencing factors have to be considered. Seventh, designing other aspects. This concept is extended to design an organizational structure, keeping any one of the types of structure.
So that would be the end of our reporting. Thank you for listening. Bye. Have a good day.